This is organizational behavior management, and through this past 8 weeks, we have each interviewed 3 different managers from different industries.
And we have a variety of industries and different age groups, and so we had a lot of different answers, and we will talk about those.
So we had 5 main questions. The first one was, how does managing people affect your day-to-day tasks? I said tasks. How's the culture of the people you manage? Would you consider your workplace diverse? How so? How do you make the team work when personalities are different? And how did you grow into your managing style? So
Just saying that.
So we interviewed several different managers. I interviewed my dad, Mario Pasilia, who's oil and gas manager for quality assurance. He's in the 50-something age group, and he manages around 10 people. I also interviewed Sarah Rushing, who's 25, and she's assistant manager at a restaurant, and she manages several different age groups from like high school to 30-something. And I also interviewed Austin Smith, who is manager at a farmer's market, and he manages mostly high school students.
I interviewed Hall Smith, and he's the manager at Bed Bath & Beyond in Edmond, and he's in the 50 to 60 age group, and he manages a pretty good chunk of people ranging from like 16 up until 50 to 60, his own age. It's a big variety of people. I also interviewed Mike Wallace, and he is a dentist and manager of his office, and he's also in the 50 to 60 age group, and he manages about 7 to 10 different people, and it kind of varies on ages, probably from like 20s to 40s. And then I also interviewed Tanner. She is the manager at Wood & Nickel, and she's been managing for a couple of years now, and she manages mostly college-age kids that work there at Wood & Nickel.
I interviewed my office manager where I work, and she's 45, and she actually manages like not only staff but the congregation. And then I also interviewed a manager at a salon. She actually owns a salon, and she deals with a variety of people, and she's in her early 30s. And then I also interviewed a nurse, and she manages younger people and older people, and she's 25.
I interviewed Nikki, who is a manager at the Academic Center for Student Athletes, and she manages a bunch of grad students who tutors the student athletes. I also interviewed my uncle, Mike Zimmer, who is a manager for an IT company who I interviewed Mike Zimmer, who is a manager for an IT company, and he manages a bunch of people from all around the world, but everything that he does is over the phone or via email. I also interviewed Ashley Wilson, who is a manager for her family-owned business, which is for Botox and plastic surgery and a bunch of medical things, and
Okay, so throughout the interview process, we found a lot of similarities and differences between all our answers, and it usually depends like what age group they're at, who they manage, how many people they manage, and we're going to talk about those.
Okay, I interviewed, the first one was office manager at the church, and I interviewed her because she also manages the congregation plus the staff. And so she deals with hundreds of people coming in and out of her office with complaints or things that need to happen, or the scheduling and everything like that. And she has to also deal with issues that arise. Could be from there's not enough nursery workers to somebody spilled their Coke. So the age range for her to deal with is from 100 to newborn babies. And so she deals with a variety of people, very diverse, different ideas. Sometimes people don't like you to sing that song, or they don't like that color paint, or it can all be an age issue. The second person I interviewed is a salon manager, and she had a variety of employees from old to young, diverse, different races, different personalities, and she had to learn how to get them all on the same page. And she found a training program actually for hers that helped her implement strategies to get everybody going in the same direction. Now, they didn't always work, but for the most part, she said it was very helpful. Okay, what is your name?
My name is Mindy Hardy.
Okay, and what kind of business do you manage?
Well, I'm on staff at a church, Eagle Heights Baptist Church.
Do you consider the congregation part of the organization you manage?
Oh, yes, definitely. We probably have at least 500 members, and everything that I do, I work with the membership in a lot of different ways, organizing events, planning activities if the building needs to be used for anything, basketball, weddings, different things like that. So, yeah.
So you have a lot of interaction with people, and so how would you describe the culture at the church?
Well, very family oriented. And anyone's welcome to come here anytime they want, just because we may have a membership, but we have lots of people that visit all the time. And open to just about anybody that wants to be here.
I interviewed Nikki, who is a manager for the Academic Center for Student Athletes, and she manages a ton of grad students who apply from a bunch of different colleges to tutor for a variety of classes for all of the students that need tutoring. She also works one-on-one with a bunch of, her specific sport is football, so she'll work one-on-one with individual football players, and then she'll come up with plans, and so she deals with a lot of younger students. And then I also interviewed Michael Zimmer, who is a manager for an IT company, and he works from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. most days on the computer, and he'll make a ton of phone calls. He works from everywhere around the world, from Japan to the U.S., just everywhere. And he manages a bunch of different companies within his company, and so he deals with a variety of different personalities and a bunch of different groups of ethnicity.
Hi, my name is Michael Zimmer. I am a senior manager for Accenture. I have been a senior manager for about 15 years.
What type of management do you do?
I manage IT shops for companies. So if a company doesn't want to run their IT shop anymore, my company will come in and do it, and I am the person that runs all of the operations, projects, and what have you, and usually working directly with the CIO of a company.
How does managing people affect your day-to-day activities?
Well, I guess there's two aspects to managing people. One is the work aspect, and then there's one that is the personal aspect. Regardless of what you end up doing, the personal aspect always comes to work. People have personal issues that you have to deal with. So typically, we have schedules for all of our different teams, and we have so standard operations teams have schedules, and we have people scheduled to work those hours to make sure that everything in the IT department runs smoothly from a day-to-day basis. We also then have projects that have individual schedules that have milestones that have to be met on each and every project, so that the project will start and then the project actually has an end date. Typically then you take a project and you roll that into your standard operations, which are just things that are repeatedly done day after day, kind of like your electricity shows up at your house every day, things that we have to do every day to keep the IT operations up and running and moving in an efficient manner. The other part is you have to then manage people, because people have lives and lives don't always go smoothly. So you end up managing a person around, their life. You have work to do, they have their life. So there's always somebody gets sick, somebody's going on vacation, somebody has, a tragedy in the family, and your operation cannot stop. So you have to build in a certain amount of management to take care of the problems that occur in a person's life that could affect your business.
All right, so for my first interview, I interviewed Mario Pasilia, who's a quality assurance manager at Baker Hughes, which they operate worldwide. It's an oil and gas company. And his background started out with accounting and business. He did that for quite a few years, and then eventually went on to the engineering side, which is quality assurance. So with that, he manages, I think he told me, about 10 to 15 people that's in his department. And he has a lot of roles, like what activities they do, the meetings. He's usually always in a meeting, trying to forecast any, what am I trying to say, like the forecasting. If projects aren't going right, he's the one that gets a call, and he has to go out to the site and like fix it and everything. He did mention that the people that he manages are all older. They have like a professional background in engineering, or like they went to school for engineering. So the culture is more like older people, not quite as high school. And then the second interview, her name was Sarah Russian, and she's a manager at a restaurant, a pizza restaurant, and she's 25. So she started with being a waitress there when she was in high school, and then kind of got the hang of it, and eventually she became assistant manager. And she manages a lot of younger people, but also like the cooks are older. They come from a background that they didn't have education, or they're Hispanics or African Americans. So she manages several different people. And then the third interview, he's manager at Farmers Market, commonly known in Tulsa area. And he started also in the high school. He was just, like the register guy. And then eventually, like throughout summers, he became the manager, and he kind of schedules everyone in. He makes sure that the truck comes in and out, that everything's good for the customers. And so that's about it.
What is your name, title, position, and company?
My name is Mario Pasilio, and the Quality Assurance Manager for Baker Hughes.
What kind of culture do you manage?
We have a culture that came from a very old company. Baker Hughes was created somewhere around 100 years ago. It evolved from a small mom and pop company. It evolved to the enterprise that it is today. So it came from different small companies that merged together. We have a pretty strong core values. That's what really get the whole company together. Those core values are the day-to-day operation of all of us. So we truly believe and enforce those core values, and each employee in the company knows them and have to acknowledge them on a daily basis.
Will you consider your workplace diverse? How so?
Yes, our company is very diverse. We operate in 96 countries around the world. We have somewhere around 35,000 people. So we have people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, minorities. So we are a truly diverse company.
The first person I interviewed was Hall Smith, and he's the manager at Bed Bath & Beyond. And he has been managing for over 20 years now at all kinds of different levels and different offices and just all kinds of different places. And so he kind of manages at Bed Bath & Beyond a very diverse group of people in age, in gender, in race. And he has to deal with all the customers that come through, because they have all sorts of different diversity within them. And so working at Bed Bath & Beyond, he definitely deals with a lot of diversity just every single day. And then the second person that I interviewed was Mike Wallace, and he is a manager and owner at a dentist office in Edmond, and he kind of talked about how in his field he doesn't really see very much diversity there in Edmond, just because Edmond generally is a predominantly white area, and most of his patients or most of his employees are women around the same age group. He sees a little more diversity in the age, just depending on what employees he has at what time. But he does deal with a little bit more diversity whenever it comes to his patients that come in, but still being in Edmond, he doesn't see a ton. Tell me a little bit about where you work.
I work at Bed Bath & Beyond. I am a assistant manager with the company in Oklahoma City.
Okay, what is the culture of your company like, of the people that you're managing?
The culture of the company and of the people is more, it's based around customer service. We try to excel in customer service and give everyone that comes into the store a good experience, leaving them wanting to come back and shop with us, to continue to shop with us.
Okay, how do your employees, like, what is the culture of the employees themselves? Like, are they positive and motivated, or how would you explain that?
For the most part, like any company, there are good employees and there are not so good employees. For the most part, our employees are motivated. They are very positive. They enjoy coming to work. It's a very comfortable atmosphere where we work. It's geared around family. We're a big family, and we try to take care of each other and have a good time while we're at work.